What are your recollections of that particular run and also the final itself?
Yeah, I mean, I was playing very well that year. I remember actually I purposely skipped the Olympic Games, which were in Atlanta, just to make sure I trained well and prepared well for the U.S. Open that year. I ended up beating Andre in the semifinals, and was just playing very solid. The final it was a tough match. I played Pete in the finals. We had about a 3-hour rain delay. If I could do it all over again, I would probably have gone out to hit a few balls actually before the match. Before I guess I should say after the rain delay, and I was just so full of adrenaline. I had too much adrenaline actually going into the match. Pete played well throughout the entire match. I actually, believe it or not, in that tournament, I was actually 1 point from becoming number one in the world. Pete had that incredible round of 16 match with Alex Corretja and was down a match point. And I remember watching this match point on TV, and Pete came in. Alex had literally a sitting forehand like right on the service line, and Pete had to guess which way, and Pete guessed cross court. Alex ended up passing cross court. Pete stuck his racket out, and I think he shanked the volley, and it dribbled over the net on match point. And I knew that had he won that point, I knew pretty much I was going to be number one. And I was watching that, I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? And then he goes on to throw up later in the fifth set breaker, and then he wins the match, and I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? So obviously if I'd beaten Pete in the finals, I would have been number one as well. I felt like I had a good chance. First set, just too much adrenaline. Second set, I got down one break. Third set, I actually had a set point in the third set. I came into the net, and I had a forehand. Pete had a forehand pass cross court. I was literally like right there for the volley, and his pass clipped the tape. While I was at net, I couldn't believe it. So, I lost my chance there, but I felt like if I had that third set, I had the momentum going into the fourth. And, even though you're down 2-0, it's the finals of the U.S. Open. You never know what can happen, but it was a great tournament. I have no regrets, and a lot of good memories there in New York.
And it's a strange one for, I suppose, this generation. That actually, we think of Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic with the amount of Grand Slam titles that they have, but obviously Sampras is just below them in terms of how good he was and his legacy in the sport. How good was he coming up against him and throughout his career in the sport?
Yeah, I mean, Pete was. To be honest with you, I don't think anyone really expected Pete to do as well as he did. I mean, Pete's never won a national junior title, if you can believe that. He was always a great player. There's no question about it. But, his game really didn't mature and blossom, and his mental toughness really didn't come about until he got to the professionals. In 1990, obviously his breakthrough in the U.S. Open just catapulted him just in his confidence in his game. He really became a new player after that. And I think a lot of people were thinking, gosh, he passes Roy Emerson on all-time Grand Slam titles. Who's going to catch 14? We sit here today and Roger, Rafa, and Novak are all at 20 plus, which is unheard of. And Pete, there's no question. Pete, was a great champion. The only surface that he really struggled on was clay, and rightly so in the style in which he played. But I think his determination and his heart and his attitude, in so many ways, I think was masked a lot of times by his kind of calm demeanor, with his personality. You don't see the fire as much, except on really critical moments. But by all means, I mean, he, incredible ambassador for the game and incredible champion as well.
Definitely. And you mentioned that on route to getting to the final, obviously beating Andre Agassi. And he was, having done a little bit of research, the first man to actually win the career Golden Slams of the four majors and
Yeah.
the Olympic gold medal as well. How much of an achievement was that from Agassi?
I mean, it was phenomenal. Obviously, he did it after his wife accomplished it in '88. Steffi got this I guess the calendar slam and the Olympics, all in the same year in '88, I believe. So, you think that you think that your accomplishments would be, up there and above everybody else in your family. Here, your wife outshines you. So, I mean, Andre is such a talent. I mean, I have to say, I've known Andre for a super long time. First time I played Andre was when I was, I want to say maybe 9 or 10 years old. Always had great hands. Always was powerful off the ground. Takes the ball earlier than anybody else. There was no question he was going to be, a great champion. He was going to win a lot. I think the real question at the point in time throughout his career was, when would it take, at what point would he find the discipline to put everything together? He ended up doing that a little bit later on in his career. He had early success, but didn't have the Grand Slam success really until later on in his career. And that's really when his game, came together, and and he won all those Grand Slam titles, including the Olympic Games.
What do you say about Joko?
Do you want to comment on him not being here?
Oh, very much, very much.